Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Aatif Nawaz Show with me, your host, Aatif Nawaz. We have a fantastic show for you today. Let's get right to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me start this week's show by thanking last week's guest, Miss Amina, for this wonderful t-shirt, which I'm wearing right now. Look, check it out, Amina's shirt, right? It's really cool. She gave it to me. She's so kind. And I love it when guests come on the show and they give me shirts and free stuff like CDs and all this kind of stuff. I love it. I'm very nice. And I will always repay the favor by wearing and giving you the plugs that you want. No problem at all. Thank you so much, Amina. I hope you're well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're only a couple of weeks away now from the Champions Trophy in England. It's so exciting, who's going to win this ICC event, because there's not that many of them. There's only the ICC World Cup, the ICC World T20, the ICC World Cricket League, the ICC World Cricket League Division 2, Division 3. Well, there's not that many. You get the point. So it's really exciting. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I know who's going to win. Well, I don't know because I'm Pakistani and I happen to know bookies. I just know who's going to win, and of course it's going to be Pakistan. I tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just because I'm Pakistani and I love Pakistan's cricket team. It's because they have the best team, and they've got the best slow bowlers, and they've got the best bats. They've got the best bats. They've got some very good bats. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's really winding me up these days? Okay, I've been meeting a lot of American people recently, especially on my travels in America, and the way they say Pakistan is really upsetting me. They keep saying Pakistan, Pakistan. Where are you from? Are you from Pakistan? I'm not from Pakistan. I'm from Pakistan. It's not that difficult to say Pakistan. Pakistan. Try it again. Pakistan. It's not Pakistan. It's Pakistan. How would you like it if I did that to you, my friends in America? How would you like it if I took your beloved video games and started mispronouncing them? What are you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just playing some Pac-Man. Well, that's enough of me, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a fantastic show, a fantastic guest on today's show, so let's get straight to it. Joining me this week, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very, very special guest. He's not just a guest, he's a friend of mine, okay? He's the cricket blogger extraordinaire. Please give it up for the wonderful and talented Mr. Nishant Joshi. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. I've got alt cricket on the show, the alt cricket. That's incredible. That's so cool. Thank you for taking the time out. And presumably from watching a game of cricket that you normally would be right now, right?
Yeah, currently you're distracting me from watching another session of Test cricket, but I think I can take that.
Well, it's not just Test cricket. You watch everything. You watch like Bangladesh Premier League. IPL, you watch everything, right? Where do you find the time to watch every game of cricket in the world?
Well, I think if you have a passion about something, then you'll find a way eventually. So right now my passion is to avoid studying. So I kind of use cricket as a distraction technique, but from there I end up watching just about every single game of cricket in the world. I think in the last month, I've actually tallied up which matches I've watched, and I've watched everything from Women's World Cup, Bangladesh Premier League, Under-19 internationals, Test cricket. I've watched over 50 games just in January alone, which is kind of terrible.
That's obscene.
It is.
I mean, I'm jealous and feel sorry for you at the same time. That's incredible. So how did this all start? Because obviously you love watching cricket, right? How did the old cricket phenomenon start? Because now it's a huge thing, right? All of a sudden, you know, everybody's clicking onto websites. You've got these hilarious posts and people contribute as well. And you know, I've been lucky enough to be featured myself. Actually, that was quite fun. So how did that start? How did it come about?
Well, it was about a couple of years ago when I got into cricket blogging and blogging about football and stuff like that as well. And then I kind of saw the opportunity where there seemed like a glass ceiling to me for where bloggers couldn't actually progress any further. And then you see a couple of other people, especially through Test Match Sofa, Jared Kimber as well, as we all know, who kind of...
Sorry guys, my mistake, last question, okay?
Sorry.
So,
I'm just going to go back to that.
Could you repeat last question?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go back to how did the whole alt cricket thing come about? And we'll go back to that. But so I love it. Jared Kimber, glass ceiling, everything perfect. Just relax, man. Don't worry, it's nice and chilled.
Yeah.
You seem a little tense. Chill.
No, I just...
It's so chilled that like 7 people are gonna watch this.
Hey, there were like 70 people watched that thing on YouTube, so I guess you must have quite a few.
On YouTube? See, they only just put them on YouTube like a couple of weeks ago. I'm told. I don't know how believe 70,000 people watch this every week. So let's see. So tell me, how did the whole alt cricket thing come about?
Well, it was about a couple of years ago when I started cricket blogging, and I got to the point where I was thinking that quite a lot of stuff that we read on the mainstream websites and what the mainstream commentators are saying, people were kind of feeling a sense of ennui towards them and feeling that bloggers were actually getting more exciting and maybe in some cases a bit better quality as well. So then I kind of tried to do my best to kind of break that glass ceiling. You see kind of pioneers like Dan Norcross, Testmat Sofa, Jared Kimber as well really got far ahead in blogging, one of the first people to actually get past that stigma of just saying bloggers as opposed to proper cricket writers. So I tried to kind of gain on that by writing a book, which is the Alternative Cricket Almanac.
Of course, and you had all these wonderful bloggers contribute to that as well. I mean, just to go back to your point about the glass ceiling, I mean, it's most apparent in, for example, Sky's coverage of the cricket in the UK. Only people who are former England cricket captains, it seems, can actually contribute analysis to the game, and that's not true at all. You don't have to play the game to know the game, right?
Exactly, and I mean, as I said, I've watched so much cricket in the past month alone, and you talk about the cricket commentators, the Sky cricket commentators. You've got David Lloyd, who, when he goes on screen and he actually talks about players who we've seen for the first time, who we've actually been watching for the last few years, it's kind of tragic to see that people without that sort of expertise get to the top, whereas the people who do actually know a lot about cricket but have the stigma of just being amateur cricket fans actually know a bit more in some cases and perhaps could offer their expertise in some cases.
Do you think that trend is changing ever so slightly though? Because I notice now, I mean, with things that are slightly more fringy, like it's weird to call the IPL fringy, but you know, things that are fringy, they bring in different kind of people. Of course, they were actors and people, but again, actors with an interest in cricket, for example, they come in, they lean in with their analysis. Do you think that's a positive trend for cricket?
Yeah, I mean, it does bring in a whole new audience. The IPL is gone on for 5 years now, into its 6th season, just going to start in a couple of months. And it's a whole new dimension for cricket. It brings in that whole entertainment Bollywood aspect, and it has brought a whole new audience to cricket. So it has made cricket a lot more accessible and mainstream, which is a good thing for the game.
Is it a good thing though? Because some people would argue that, you know, it's kind of diluted the appeal of the game. But you know, you've got Test cricket, right, which most cricket fans anyway will consider the pinnacle. Then you have your casual cricket fans, right, who will come in and say, I only watch 2020 cricket, I don't have time for a 5-day game, right? So I mean, how do you distinguish between what's more important, right?
Well, I think right now there's sort of this debate going on between Test cricket and T20 and IPL and stuff like that. And I do think there's a bit of a fallacy going on about the primacy of Test cricket, and everyone's saying that Test cricket has to be the pinnacle. Why does it have to be the pinnacle? Is it just because the old fogies from 50 years ago are saying that it wasn't like this in my day, so they're getting a bit uppity about the IPL coming up as a bigger thing than Test cricket? It's almost as if there's sort of a jealousy going towards the Asian bloc specifically, and the rise of T20, and that perhaps Test cricket getting left behind in its wake, even though at the end of the day the audience wants T20 more than it does Test cricket.
Well, I mean, that's apparent from the numbers. It seems the mass audience wants the cricket, but then again, you know, the Test cricket is still, I mean, as a fan, somebody like me, for example, and I'm sure you feel this as well, right? It is the pinnacle because it's it's called Test cricket. It's the best. It's the test, right? It's the real test of the game, of your skill for the game. Can you bat on tracks in South Africa? Can you bat, you know, can you grind out those sessions? And the psychology of those sessions is really what, you know, makes the game interesting. For me.
Absolutely, and for me too. It does have those sort of subtleties, those nuances in between the sessions, and even the Test matches we watch today. If you watch a Test match in Australia, there are all these different aspects to the game, almost like a game of chess, people always say. And whether you play the game in Australia, England or India, there are always going to be those subtle variations in the game, which makes Test cricket so special. T20, we kind of see it in its current form today. It's kind of homogenous. You see that you've seen the same game, 200 plays 200 many times over. So it does have that sort of feeling that T20 can get quite repetitive.
And is T20 a bit more accessible for bloggers as well, because there's so much, this proliferation of cricket means there's so much to cover that it's impossible for the mainstream, you know, the establishment of cricket journalism to cover everything. So there's people like Peter Della Penna, for example, who can cover American cricket. You know, this proliferation has helped, right? Yeah,
definitely. And I think not so much for the bloggers, but especially for the actual mainstream audience. I think it does give that aspect where you can actually have a family coming to watch the IPL after a hard days of work, or maybe not, and coming to watch a game in the evening, whether you're in India, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Australia, South Africa, it's really taken off T20.
That's fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here talking to Nishant Joshi of Alt Cricket. If you've never come across this before, it's absolutely fantastic, right? It's different cricket, and we live tweets on cricket matches as well, which is phenomenal. And of course, what they have is a wonderful podcast, right? And we're going to show you a clip of that right now.
What a catch there is, Kane Williamson. What an absolute beauty that is. A one-handed to the right. And all of a sudden, New Zealand have got the key wicket. Have a look at this. Boom. Wow. Will not see any better than that. I thought Trent Bolt's at Wellington was special. Well, that's equal to it, if not slightly better. How happy are they? Chanderpaul goes for 20, 46 for 5. And here's the special catch by Kane Williamson. He is close. Caught it behind him. Full stretch, just above the ground.
Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. There is a sample of the podcast, and this is wonderful. So you do this, how regularly do you do the podcast?
We do it every week, so we've been going for a year now.
And what does one have to do to feature on one of these podcasts? Asks a future possible contributor type person.
Well, in future, we will be looking to interview more people in the next few months. So, I don't know, Aatif, you could be on the list if you're lucky, you know.
So, tell me who's featured on it so far.
Well, that's a bit of, no, but it's just been 2 people so far.
Okay, well that's fine. But you're gonna expand. But that's fine. So what are you doing? Do you just kind of comment on the happenings of the week and what have you?
Yeah, it's a weekly review of what's happened in the cricket world, but it's kind of done in our alternative cricket style. So it's basically 2 of us, me and my partner James Marsh, and we talk about what's happened in the previous week, but with a satirical take on things.
Okay, fantastic. That's quite interesting. And what I wanted to know was, like, that's kind of an evolution of what you've been doing, right? Because it started with Twitter, would it be fair to say? So it started with the Twitter handle, Alt Cricket, and then you're tweeting and you're live tweeting during games, and they're obviously insanely funny because people are, retweeting, and you're building up this huge fan base, and you've got 20,000 plus followers on Twitter just from tweeting about cricket without being a part of the establishment, which I think is incredible, right? And you've been referenced by it, and you've got some really famous fans as well. I know Dirk Nann is a fan of yours. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few kind of famous sort of cricketers right now.
Like who?
I don't want to name drop or anything, but
go on, yeah, you do.
Right now, quite a lot of the South African players, like
Really?
Dale Steyn, JP
Dale
Doon.
Steyn?
Yeah.
Can you tweet him back and just take it easy on my voice a little bit, please? No, that's incredible. So, I mean, is that something that fulfills or legitimizes or gives you credibility, or is it just that's nice?
It's kind of a combination of both, because for me, it's just like, that's nice. But for a wider audience, where they still kind of perceive you as a blogger instead of a legitimate cricket writer or journalist, it does sort of add that credibility. I mean, if the top cricketers are saying, are essentially endorsing you in some sort of form, and if they're actually actively engaging you, checking out your website, looking at your tweets and saying, look, dude, that's funny, then it does give you some sort of credibility boost where other people, the average cricket viewer, actually thinks that actually these guys might be worth engaging with.
That's awesome. And where is the majority of the fan base for Alt Cricket? Is it? I mean, with India being the biggest cricket in the country, does India form like maybe a large part of the audience? Would that be fair to say?
I think about 50% of our fans are from India, and you've got about 20% from Pakistan. Then the rest are made up from UK, Australia, South Africa.
Yeah, that 20% Pakistan is just me retweeting all day long. Sometimes I'm tweeting during a live cricket game, and I'm just like, why do I bother? Is it better? This is ridiculous, right? I remember, because it's really funny. It's just the way the torches pass. Because I remember Henna Khan, of course, used to say that about me. She's like, I don't bother tweeting anymore, I just retweet you. And now I'm doing the same to you, and it's just like a passing of the door. This is incredible. So, I mean, when you're watching this cricket game, right? When you're watching any game of cricket, let's say, and you're putting out these tweets, do you have stock tweets that you've kind of written up and you're just waiting to fill in, or do you literally, feel that creative all the time?
Not at all. I think the best sort of comedy is when you can do something spontaneously, and that's sort of been the stuff which has really been popular as well. When you just actually watch what's been going on, and you can't really keep some stock jokes and stuff. We're not all stand-up comedians like you, Aatif, so the same thing won't work for every single night that we play the Odeon or wherever.
Oh, the Odeon! I wish, the Odeon, man, that would be nice. I'm just curious, because the thing is, you put out a lot of content, and and during the Olympics, you had a specific Twitter handle for the Olympics. You have one for football, alt football as well. So it just seems like so much to do. And in between all that, I know you're studying as well, right?
Yeah.
So it just seems like, and you know, you're a handsome man, so I'm sure you've got to get it. You know, you meet a lot of people. So how do you balance all this stuff in this big work-life study pond?
Well, again, it goes back to the same thing. If you have a passion, then I think you'll find a way eventually to do whatever you like. So
you have a passion for cricket, football, the Olympics, women, medicine, different countries in Europe, really?
you'll always find a way. And these are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to my hobbies as well. I still like to do lots of other stuff, like playing cricket as well. Takes up a lot of my time right now. Last summer I set up a cricket club for my small town in Czech Republic as well. So even from there, we played some matches. We got some sponsored kit. Are
there many cricket clubs? Is there much scope for cricket in Czech Republic?
Well, right now we have about 10 or 12 established cricket clubs within the Czech Republic. We're doing an indoor winter league right now amongst the Czech Republic teams as well.
Well, it's like a year-round league, indoor winter league. Yeah, it's pretty much. So, I mean, do they even have pitches? I mean, do you have artificial pitches? Anything that you can play on?
We have a couple of proper pitches, and but they're quite hard to maintain, especially when you're playing in the middle of farm fields and stuff like that. So we do try to use the artificial ones. I mean, right now for my local team, we're playing on an athletics track. So we've got lots of shot put holes in the middle of the field. So we've got lots of shattered ankles and stuff.
Nice, you get a nice bit of turn out of that shot put, a bit of a leg break there. But that's really cool, and you're pretty actively involved in kind of spreading the game as well, right? And I know you've been working on an initiative with the Maasai Warriors cricket team. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, last year I went to Kenya with a charity called Cricket Without Boundaries, and that kind of really fits in with what I'm trying to do with alt cricket, because ultimately we want to do something charitable now that we have such a big audience. So last year when I went to Kenya, we helped the Maasai Cricket Warriors, and we actually helped them get sponsorship to go to South Africa, and they played in a tournament there.
That's incredible. I mean, this team of indigenous people playing cricket, and do they have kind of? I can't even picture that properly, Actually, I've seen some images of it, so I can picture it, but I can't picture it, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, that must give you a sense of pride as well, and I mean, people must commend you on this as well in the international cricket community, surely.
Well, I've not really been seeking commendation or anything.
Of course not. No, I know you're very humble, Nishant. I know that. Yeah, that's part of another in the long list of wonderful qualities you have, right? But the point is, there's people out there that must appreciate what you're doing, your work, because it's very positive for cricket. It's very positive. It's when the ICC set up this whole initiative to spread the game, right? With the World Cricket Leagues and what have you and everything. This is certainly something that would fit within that. And has anybody ever tapped you up to get involved or do something like that?
Not quite yet, but if anybody's watching, then
maybe now. Hey, you guys in Dubai with your ICC, are they still in Dubai?
Yeah, I think they're in Dubai.
If they're in Dubai, come on, ICC, sort it out.
Yeah, if you can put me up at the Burj Al Arab or wherever you guys hold
Al
up.
Arab. That's so 2006. It's all about the Burj Khalifa now.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You got to get your Dubai towers right, man. So this is incredible. I'm really enjoying this chat, man. It's very nice to just sit and talk about cricket for a little while. And of course, we've got the Champions Trophy coming up, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we do, it's time to hear what you think, ladies and gentlemen, this week. What are your crazy opinions of the week? I'd love to know.
Shopping, Paris, yeah.
Well, to Halmstad, which is quite near to where I live.
Tokyo, Ginza.
Berlin.
Malta. Anywhere. Yeah, Hyderabad. Shopping is fun.
I don't like to shop. I don't like to go to shopping.
Probably there's a store selling magic props in a small town in Sweden. I like to go there and look at all the interesting old stuff. Yeah.
I don't go shopping. City or a shop? Maybe Lagoon, a shopping center in Bergen. I think a sport store.
Shopping is Paris.
I don't know, my hometown mall.
Oh, you mean city or shop? London.
Oh, internet.
You strange and wonderful people, I love to hear what you have to say each week. We're here, of course, talking to Alt Cricket, Nishant Joshi himself. He's in the Aatif Nawaz Show studios. I can't believe it, man. We usually meet in Primark looking for pajamas for me. True story.
That is a true story.
It is a true story.
One day we'll upgrade to like House of Fraser pajama shopping.
Yeah, well, that's the dream, my friend. That's the dream. That's when Alt Cricket goes to the next stage. Yeah. But by then there'll be a Mrs. Alt Cricket, and she won't let you come out for these trips. So this is incredible. So I mean, you watch a ton of cricket, right?
Literally a ton.
Literally a ton of cricket, right? Who do you dislike intensely in cricket?
Well, right now I kind of don't like the whole fixing agenda going on, especially the sort of rumours you hear around certain cricketers. So obviously we can't name names, but if you go back a couple of years and you look at what Salman Butt did, Aatif and Amir.
They're paying the price for what they did, I suppose, in theory. But I mean, in a more like who do you just watch on TV and sometimes I think you're just obnoxious.
The Australians are kind of synonymous with obnoxiousness, and
even Eddie Cowan.
He's kind of a bookish obnoxious nerd. I think. he's obnoxious, but in his own certain way.
He seems alright.
He seems alright, but just because he reads.
Justin Langer, I've played with Justin Langer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Justin Langer's sort of philosophy. I think that he said that the patience of discipline is far greater than the pain of disappointment or something like that. And, and then it talked about, I thought that was kind of profound.
Insanely profound.
But from then, if you look at the obnoxious aspect of Australian cricket, Michael Clarke actually got that tattooed in his arm in Arabic, and he actually got the spelling wrong.
In Arabic, and he got the spelling wrong. That's incredible. Oh my god, I love sledges. I love sledges. Like cricket sledge. What's your favorite sledge of all time? Bear in mind, it's a daytime show.
Okay, because it's a Pakistan show. What about the one where Merv Hughes was talking to, I think Moin Khan, it might have been, or it was Amir Sohail, I believe, and he said, I think he got sent off with calling him a fat bus conductor or something like that. I think that was a pretty, and it was when Merv Hughes actually got Amir Sohail out, and then he said, "Tickets, please."
Yes, of course.
As a fat bus conductor.
You look like a fat bus conductor, of course, I remember that. My favourite one involves Edo Branders and, of course, Ian Botham, but we can't do that.
There's Glenn McGrath.
Glenn McGrath, sorry, what did I say?
Ian Botham.
Yeah, Ian Botham, Glenn McGrath, same thing, clearly not.
Unrepeatable.
Unrepeatable indeed. So, I mean, what I want to know is how is cricket, Alt Cricket, going to move forward? Because you've done so much. You've got the website going still, right? And that gets a ton of attention. And maybe you'll let me post something on there again soon. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Champions Trophy is coming up. So, do you ever kind of synergize with tournaments? I know you did with the Olympics, but cricket-wise, do you ever synergize with tournaments?
Yeah, we kind of gear up for every tournament that we have. So for the IPL, hopefully we'll have some special features going on and stuff like that. For the last T20 tournament in September in Sri Lanka, we did a lot of special features for that. So hopefully for the Champions Trophy, we could actually, since it's here in London, we could even maybe get some press passes or something like that.
Oh my God, press passes! That's incredible. I've been in the media centre of Lords only once. And it was to watch the Yorkshire Village Tea Cup final. It was amazing though. I was still in the media centre commentating with Test match over. It was one of the best experiences of my life, even though it was the Yorkshire Village Tea Cup final, something. So yeah, what would you like for the Champions Trophy?
I quite like Pakistan's ODI team right now.
Really?
I really think they've
Are you just saying that because you're on my show?
No, I really think that spin is the way forward in cricket, and especially in limited overs formats as well. And I really do think that if they can bowl maybe 40 overs of spin and 10 overs of Umar Gul every single match, I think they'll be quite hard to beat.
Umar Gul's fine, but injury permitting. What about Junaid Khan?
Junaid Khan is also a phenomenal bowler. If he can stay fit, then I really do think that he could become something like Wasim Akram. Obviously, very hard to get even near him, but in terms of talent that we've seen from Pakistan recently, I think nobody really comes close to Junaid Khan.
So you've got a bit of a, you've been all over the place a little bit, right? So what I want to know is, who do you support international cricket-wise?
Well, obviously, as a writer and a tweeter,
try and be unbiased, but who do you support?
I try to be objective and unbiased.
You try and be objective, but who do you support?
I really like the South African team right now. I think they're full of personalities. You've got such variation of personalities. We've got like Hashim Amla, who's just basically a Buddha with a bat, we call him. And then you've got Dale Steyn, who's so ridiculously ferocious.
I'm sorry, Nishant, so you're telling me if tomorrow England were playing South Africa, you'd support South Africa?
Yeah.
tomorrow India were playing South Africa, you'd support South Africa?
I'd happily support South Africa just because they seem like a bunch of really good guys.
Really?
Yeah, if you look around the world and you see quite a lot of arrogant cricketers, especially English establishment, you've got someone like Kevin Peterson, Matt Pryor, who tried to belittle Sachin Tendulkar of all people, making a joke about his Ferrari and stuff like that. Yeah, crass people. And like Stuart Broad as well, another guy who's really obnoxious when we talk about obnoxious people. And then you've got lots of spoiled cricketers from India, Australia, and then you look at the South African team, they're all really well off, but they seem well grounded and stuff like that. They're the type of people who will happily sign autographs.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not what it's about, really, isn't it? Look, for example, I love the Pakistani cricket team. Now, they're not exactly the most likable bunch of people in the world, are they, right? You know, they've done plenty of things which are dubiously. I love Shahid Afridi, and I know Shahid Afridi is not, the model cricket. He's no Sachin Tendulkar. Let's put it that way, right? But see, that's what I mean. You just have an innate connection to it. Just this kind of weird electric bond, right? Do you not have that with any team? Is it really that broken down and logical for you that South Africans are nice guys, they have a great team, they're quite fun to watch, hence I will like them most?
Well, I do think it does kind of become more objective and logical the more cricket you actually watch. Because, for example, if you're watching an India versus Sri Lanka ODI series, they're playing 7 matches, and if India lose 7-0, for example, which they could well do at some point, and then they've got another ODI series the next week or something like that, it kind of becomes, what's the point of supporting a team if you could just kind of forget about that loss and just move on straight away?
Well, India play a lot of cricket.
Yeah, exactly. So when you support a team, I think you have to have a real emotional bond, and especially with me, the sort of writing that I do, I do try to remain objective, and I support individual players above teams.
That's interesting. That's an interesting approach. I mean, I'm liking this. I'm getting a feel for you. And you said Pakistan have a good shot at the Champions Trophy, so I'm going to let that slide, right? There is one more thing I want to talk to you about, but we're going to do this after we find out a little bit more about you personally, because it is time for the Dangerous Sheep round. It's time for 12 things we don't know about Nishant Joshi, alt cricket. Okay, Nishant, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're going to learn 12 things about you we don't already know, okay?
Okay.
And the tricky thing is you have to catch a sheep, okay? And it's a cricket-based thing, so you got to do it.
Okay, I can catch.
You can catch,
I'm
right?
safe hands.
You're in safe hands, okay? No Akmal stuff here, okay? May I have the sheep, please? Thank you very much. Here we go. Right, ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. What's your favorite thing to eat in the world?
Garlic naan.
Garlic naan. Okay, good stuff. So, favorite holiday destination in the world?
Mombasa in Kenya.
Mombasa in Kenya, right? Okay. Favorite movie?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
That's an odd choice, but okay. Bread or naan?
Garlic naan.
Garlic naan specifically, of course. We like the garlic naan here. Okay. So chappals or slippers?
Slippers.
Slippers. Okay. Your favorite song?
Sunshine of Your Love by Cream.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to let it go. So do you prefer Western attire or Eastern attire?
Western.
Western attire, and you put it off quite well if I may say so. So bearded people or clean-shaven people?
Clean shaven.
Clean shaven. Just clean shaven. Okay, favorite person in the whole world?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay, who may or may not be in the room. Your role model in life?
My dad, of course.
Your dad, of course. It's good shout-outs for the dad. What's your favorite cricket team?
My favourite cricket team is the Barisal Burners in the Bangladesh Premier League.
The Barisal Burners in the Bangladesh Premier League. Okay, and where do you prefer to be, London or the Czech Republic?
London, of course.
London, of course, and there we have it. That is 12 things we didn't already know about you. Well done, sir. Well done. And back we go. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is 12 things you didn't already know about Nishant Joshi, alt cricket. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did very much, Aatif. You've been wonderful as usual. I can't really get away from your smile. I wonder if you have to kind of practice that in the mirror for like...
I don't. It just happens. This is just, I wake up in the morning and this happens to me. I can't control it. It's just one of those things.
Well, of course, with your lovely new wife as well.
Yes, that's right. That's right. My wife's always on my mind. Always on my mind.
Your face just turned depressed when you thought about that.
It's because she's not here right now.
Oh, okay.
And I miss
right.
her.
Good
so
save.
That's what
Good save.
It's an incredible save, right? It's an incredible save. So, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know that the Champions Trophy is coming, and I'm going to be following you on Twitter, and you guys should follow him on Twitter as well. It's @altcricket, ALT cricket on Twitter, and they can like you on Facebook as well.
Yeah, Alternative Cricket on Facebook.
Alternative Cricket on Facebook as well, and you can watch the podcast. There's so many alternative cricket things to do as well. Why is it important for people to watch alternative? See, not just yourself, but things like Test Match Sofa, to a lesser extent Pitch Invasion, cricket balls, all this stuff, right? Why is it important for people to support that?
Well, I think alt cricket especially, the point that we're trying to get through to the general cricket public is that if we're watching so much cricket in the first place, why not have fun watching it as well? If you watch so much cricket on Radio 4, the Test match special, the Sky coverage, it's so anodyne, so boring sometimes, and especially during dull passages of play, because let's face it, cricket can become quite dull unless you have something entertaining to go with it. That's where we come in. We're kind of the salt and pepper on top of the cricket viewing. So if you follow our Twitter coverage alongside the matches, that's when we can really spice up
That's
your day.
incredible. The salt and pepper on top of the coverage. I love it. Thank you so much, Nishant, for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. It's a really firm handshake. It was fantastic. Thank you so much, Nishant. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's show. Please join us again next week when I have another guest for you. Another guest on another show, another time. Until then, this is Aatif Nawaz, your friend, your Humsafar, saying Allah Hafiz.